There's a fresh political conversation gaining attention across Nigeria, and this time it centers on a statement linked to the apex Igbo socio-cultural organization, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, and the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu. Reports and political reactions suggest that some voices within the Igbo leadership space are openly telling President Bola Tinubu that resolving the Kanu issue could significantly change the political atmosphere ahead of the 2027 elections. And naturally, this has triggered debate across the country. Many Nigerians are now asking the same question: is this simply political negotiation, or could this become one of the biggest political turning points before 2027? Because when a powerful sociocultural body begins speaking this directly about elections, national unity, and a controversial detention case at the same time, people will pay attention. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy balanced political analysis like this, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others following Nigeria's political developments closely. And most importantly, drop your opinion in the comments, because this conversation is already dividing reactions across the country. Now, to understand why this story matters, we need to step back a little. For years, the case of Nnamdi Kanu has remained one of the most sensitive political and security issues in Nigeria. Kanu, who leads the indigenous people of Biafra, also known as IPOB, has supporters who believe he is being unfairly detained, while the Nigerian government has consistently argued that his activities relate to national security concerns. Court proceedings, legal arguments, political appeals, and public protests have all surrounded the matter for a long time. But recently, conversations around the issue appear to be taking a slightly different direction. Instead of only legal arguments, more political stakeholders are now framing Kanu's continued detention as something that may affect trust, reconciliation, and political cooperation between the Southeast and the federal government. That is where this latest development involving Ohanaeze enters the picture. According to several political discussions and public reactions making rounds, influential voices connected to the organization are believed to have encouraged the Tinubu administration to consider a political solution rather than allowing the matter to remain purely a legal battle. The argument, according to those accounts, is simple. If the federal government demonstrates goodwill through Kanu's release or a softer approach, it could reduce tension in parts of the Southeast and potentially improve Tinubu's political standing in the region ahead of 2027. Now, let's be very careful here. There is a difference between political endorsements and guaranteed election outcomes. No group can completely guarantee votes in a democratic system. Nigeria's elections are complex, and voters make decisions for many reasons, including the economy, security, fuel prices, infrastructure, unemployment, and ethnic or regional interests. So when phrases like 2027 victory guaranteed appear in political conversations, many analysts see them more as political messaging than an actual certainty. Still, the symbolism behind this discussion is powerful. Historically, relations between the federal government and parts of the Southeast have experienced tension, especially following the rise of separatist agitation in recent years. Many community leaders have repeatedly argued that political dialogue and inclusion are better solutions than prolonged confrontation. That is why some observers believe the current conversation is not only about Kanu himself. They believe it is also about the broader relationship between Abuja and the Southeast. And this is where things become politically interesting. President Tinubu came into office facing major national challenges. Economic reforms, subsidy removal, inflation, foreign exchange pressure, insecurity concerns, and rising public frustration have all created difficult political conditions. So naturally, every major political bloc is already thinking ahead toward 2027, even though the election is still some distance away. Political alliances in Nigeria often begin years before elections actually happen. Meetings happen quietly. Negotiations begin early. Public statements are tested carefully. Groups observe government actions closely before deciding where to stand politically. So when an influential organization like Ohanaeze speaks in a way that appears more open toward engagement with the presidency, many political analysts see it as part of a larger strategy unfolding behind the scenes. But not everybody agrees with this approach. Some critics argue that linking Kanu's release to electoral politics could complicate an already sensitive legal matter. Others say it may create the impression that justice or national security issues are being negotiated politically. There are also Nigerians who believe the government should completely separate security concerns from electoral calculations. At the same time, supporters of dialogue insist that politics itself is often about negotiation, reconciliation, and finding ways to reduce national tension. They argue that countries facing deep divisions sometimes move forward through compromise and political understanding rather than hardline positions alone. Another important angle here is the reaction within the Southeast itself. Not all Igbo voices speak with one opinion. That's important to remember. The Southeast is politically diverse, just like every other region in Nigeria. While some people strongly support Kanu and demand his unconditional release, others are more focused on economic development, infrastructure, and regional inclusion within mainstream Nigerian politics. And even within Ohanaeze itself, different individuals may express different positions. That is why Nigerians should avoid assuming that every statement automatically represents the opinion of every Igbo citizens or every political stakeholder from the region. Still, one thing is undeniable. The issue of Nnamdi Kanu continues to carry enormous emotional and political weight. Whenever new comments emerge about his detention, social media lights up immediately. Supporters become hopeful, critics become suspicious. Political analysts begin reading deeper meanings into every statement coming from Abuja or regional leaders. Now, another reason this latest conversation is attracting attention is because of timing. Nigeria's political climate is already heating up slowly ahead of future alignments. Opposition figures are reorganizing, regional consultations are increasing. Political camps are testing narratives that could influence public opinion over the next 2 years. Some people believe Tinubu may attempt broader reconciliation efforts in different parts of the country to strengthen national unity and reduce opposition pressure. Others believe the administration will remain cautious, especially on issues connected to security agencies and separatist concerns. At this moment, no official announcement has confirmed any deal or agreement regarding Kanu's release. That part is very important. Much of the current conversation is based on political interpretations, public statements, and reactions circulating within Nigeria's political space. But even without confirmation, the discussion itself already reveals something important about the country's political atmosphere. It shows that many stakeholders now recognize the Southeast as a major political factor that cannot simply be ignored. It also shows how deeply connected law, politics, identity, and elections have become in modern Nigerian politics. And honestly, many Nigerians watching this situation are less interested in political drama and more interested in practical outcomes. People want stability. They want economic improvement. They want reduced tension. They want fair governance, whether through dialogue, legal processes, or political compromise. Many citizens simply want solutions that lower the national temperature. At the same time, there's another side to this conversation that deserves attention. Some Nigerians outside the Southeast are questioning whether special political bargaining should happen around a figure as controversial as Nnamdi Kanu. They argue that national unity requires consistency in handling security-related matters. Others counter that national healing sometimes requires flexibility and political courage. So you can already see why this topic is generating heated reactions online. One side sees possible reconciliation, another side sees dangerous political bargaining. And somewhere in the middle are millions of Nigerians simply trying to understand what all of this could mean for the country moving forward. As Abuja continues watching these developments closely, one thing is becoming clearer. The road to 2027 may involve more negotiations, alliances, and regional calculations than many people expected. And whether or not any concrete action eventually happens regarding Nnamdi Kanu, this latest discussion has already reopened national conversations about inclusion, political trust, and the future relationship between the federal government and the Southeast. Now, let me ask you directly, do you think resolving the Kanu issue could genuinely improve political unity in Nigeria, or do you believe it would create even more controversy nationwide? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is one conversation Nigerians clearly have strong opinions about. And if you found this breakdown helpful and balanced, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this discussion with others who want to stay informed about Nigeria's changing political landscape. As always, stay informed, stay thoughtful, and keep following the developments carefully, because in Nigerian politics, today's conversation can quickly become tomorrow's major headline.